Hey guys! Welcome back to this week's episode of Spill It Hermana. Alright, y'all. Today we're going to be talking about our not so dulce sweethearts. Well, sometimes they're
sometimes,
sweet.
yeah.
Sometimes
Some occasions.
Yeah. But so basically we wanted to bring this episode to you guys about, obviously you guys have been following us already, so we're three different sisters. I mean, everybody's always different from their siblings, I guess.
Right.
But we also have all three had middle school / high school sweethearts, and
Don't tell my mom.
it's all been
elementary or middle?
Middle.
Oh, okay. Don't get it twisted.
Okay. The endings have been different, and we just wanted to bring light to situations like that. And we just wanted to chismear con ustedes about that. So, without further ado, Diana.
Me? Do you want to go first?
We go oldest to youngest, remember?
Are we talking about when we met, or like, I'm just going to say the whole thing?
Just give us a little snippet.
A little snippet? Okay. So, I was 14 when I met my ex-husband. We were in middle school. And I used to get teased a lot about him for some reason, because he used to always flirt with me. And yeah, and I used to be like, no, I don't even like him. And then he grew on me, and then he asked me to be his girlfriend. Obviously, we were both in. It was, I think, after Christmas break, 8th grade. Yeah, because it was February. And then fast forward, when I turned 15, I ended up running away. I moved in with him, and we started our Mexican marriage. Well, that's what they used to always call it, because once you move in with somebody, you're considered married. And yeah. So I was 15 and had a whole Mexican husband, literally. But yeah, and then there was ups and downs, and eventually we both parted ways. Because I feel like, well, I can't say it was his fault or it was my fault. It was really nobody's fault. At the end of the day, it took two of us to come together, and eventually both of us basically parted ways because we just didn't want to keep fighting for our marriage. Because I think if we, one or two, or actually if both of us would have been on the same page, then we'd probably, I think, depending on the situation too, there was obviously reasons here and there for both of us to basically stop trying to save our marriage, but it is what it is. I am who I am today because of everything that I've been through, so I don't regret anything, and never wish him ill at all, because when you love for real, I feel like it's not that you're gonna keep loving that person, but there's still some kind of, I don't want to say affection, but there's just, it was so many years. It was 13 plus years.
You guys were best friends. And, right. And sometimes when you just have a friend like that, it's just...
I grew up with him.
Yeah. Yeah,
literally. So, no hard feelings. We both went our separate ways. He's doing his thing. I'm doing my thing. And, yeah. I mean, there's a lot in between that, but...
That's a whole other episode.
That's a snippet of, what my not so sweetheart relationship turned out to be. It was a crazy ride, for sure. So yeah.
All right. Guess that leaves me next.
So does.
So, my high school sweetheart, we started dating sophomore year. sophomore
You
year.
were in Leonard?
I was in Leonard. Yeah, we started dating sophomore year. Um, it was a crazy ride the way that we got there. It's a whole backstory there, and um, that's just a lot to unpack. But basically, we were in each other's lives since we were
Kids.
legit. Yeah, we're
In diapers.
yeah.
That's crazy.
I know there's a picture where that grandma has.
For real?
She babysat him one time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And so I have pictures with Jennifer and Yvette, his sister. Well, my sister-in-law, and I don't ever remember him being a brother. I don't remember him being there, like part of that family. Like I just remember Yvette.
Because you were a little girl, you played with the little girl. Not
well,
the
I
little
played
boy.
with Jennifer and Yvette, so I was
right.
Where I was like. But then once we turned 15, and then we were all like doing our quinces and all practice and all that stuff, and then came around to Jennifer's quince, and I was just like, girl, why did you never tell me that you had a cousin that was a guy that was our age? Granted, I was dating somebody at the time. But I still wanted to know why I was never told about that.
That's not here nor there.
I mean, we talk about it, and we're just like, we kind of nos echamos el ojo basically at that time. Like we do confess that to each other about that. But
gotcha.
Moving on.
It hurts.
Yeah. So we were talking for 3 days. This was over winter break. We were texting for 3 days straight, and then December 31st, 2012, at 3 a.m, he asked me if I would be everything. Yes, I am one of those people. But yeah, so he asked me if I would be his girlfriend, and in hindsight, he wanted to do it in person. He said, but we had a long distance relationship, so we weren't even that far from each other. We lived in Ruskin, and he lived in Riverview, and we were maybe like 20-30 minutes away. We did go to different high schools. We actually went to, like we said last episode, we went to our rivals. I went to Leonard, and he went to East Bay. So we went through a lot in that aspect, because just long distance just sucks. It takes a toll on you, and it consists in a lot of trust, and we had to trust each other a lot, and that was something neither him or I were giving 100% to. Like we always had our doubts, and that always led to a lot of our fights, or arguments and discussions. We were both skeptical about each. Is that even the right word for that sentence? About each other? Like we were both
skeptical. Yeah, so like he's sitting there wondering what you're doing. You're sitting there wondering what he's doing. So yeah, a little sketchy there.
Yeah.
What? Sketchy. It was. I mean, on both ends.
It was. But we survived that era. And we came through on the other end, and we got married when I was 20. I was 20 years old when we got married in 2017. 2 years after graduation, I have already gotten my cosmetology license, and he bought a home for us. That was our first home. We stopped by. We didn't stop by, but we drove by on Saturdays. We were out in Lakeland.
Is it weird?
Horrible. You remember how it was back there? When we first got here, that's what it looks like over there. Like,
they didn't take care of it.
It looks like a freaking nursing home. Not a nursing home. A nursery.
Oh, nursery.
Is that how you say it?
Oh, it's like plants.
Yeah,
I was like
a botanical garden. That's what I told him. So I was like, it looks like a botanical garden. Anyways, yeah, we got married. We went through even more rough times. Like I know people say the first year is a honeymoon phase, but I didn't think that was a honeymoon phase.
That wasn't the case.
It was rough. It was rough, but I think it was just us getting to know each other more and living with each other, and because we would see each other like when we had been dating before we got married, we would see each other every like 6 months, sometimes longer than that. Like we would not see each other very often.
That sucks.
Yeah,
So how was it like living together?
it was different and it was weird. Like sometimes
Did you get sick of seeing each other?
No.
Oh.
I'm still not. I see that a lot. Like a lot of females are
Get
like,
annoyed.
just get annoyed. Like get out of here. Like
I don't know why.
I don't. Maybe I'm obsessed with him too much. Like, sorry.
It's not a bad thing.
Like I just, and not only that, but like it's sacred. Like time with him is sacred. Time with our kids now is just
Family
sacred.
time.
Like it's, I don't know, and I think we all benefit from it too. Like all four of us, like we look forward to it. Like we are big on family dinners. Like that's a huge thing that we implement, and we used to do that with mom and dad.
Yeah, we did
family dinners, and then with our nephews or a nephew and a niece.
Yeah,
we used to do that a lot too. So it's something that I really am obsessed with, and I like to continue. I mean,
it's a good thing to model for your kids.
Yeah.
So
they know that. They know like when's Dad coming home. Like when they're asking me when's Dad coming home, because I know they're hungry. So right now we haven't really implemented talking about our days. We used to do that a lot with our nephew and with our niece. But they're still little. I know what their day was like. They are here with me all day. You know what I'm saying? Like so. Like once Joey goes to kindergarten next year, it's gonna be different, and we'll ask about his day, and he can ask his brother about his day, etc. So, anyways, I
was thinking the same thing. Like the
I left that so I could put it in. Yes. Anyways, yeah. So we are happily married still. 8.5 years, we said last time.
I don't know. If you don't know, I don't know.
8.5 years. Yeah, we've been together for a long time, and we still are amazed. We both didn't think we would last more than a month.
What?
We said that to each other, and I did tell them.
Y'all legit told each other that?
Well, once we were married and everything, we were like, we didn't think it was gonna last.
So like he came up to you and told you that, and you told him, yeah, I didn't. Like once you were married?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, because we knew the long distance relationship.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, every 6 months. That's crazy.
And maybe this is why my obsession was with him too, or is with him. Like, one of our brother's girlfriend told me. This was around the time whenever I was debating whether I wanted to be with him, like because we were in the talking stage before he asked me to be his girlfriend, and she's like, "Yeah, he's a pretty boy. Why don't you want to be with a pretty boy?" And that's always stuck to me, like the pretty boy,
like a fuck boy.
No, I don't think she meant it like that because she did it. She's not from our generation.
What?
What do you know about fuck boys?
Everyone knows
not
about
our generation. That's the meaning of it, right? It's a different.
Oh, I was gonna say I know what a fuck boy is, but
the pretty boy.
That's what a pretty boy was.
I think what she was trying to say is like he's pretty, like he looks like
a pretty boy.
Yeah, like a pretty boy, like, but not like I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. What
you mean.
I don't know what she meant by that, but that's always stuck to me, and I'm like, to me, it's like I felt like one of those girls in those movies where it's like the jock looks at the nerd or something, like
not good enough.
Yeah, and so I was just kind of like, I can't say that. There was people who said that about me once we were dating. That I was too ugly for him. That I was not to his standard or to their standards of what he should.
Now I'm curious. Which side?
So, so to me, she's avoiding it.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
she doesn't want to call it out.
I get it.
So that stuck to me too. But once I got to hear that, I was already over it. We were already months in, and I was just like, no, like, fuck out of here. Like, this is what we both want, and this is what we're gonna do, and we did, and here we are. And at the end of the day, we are both essential to each other.
Of course.
Like, we've gotten to the point where we do need each other, and I mean, I think he's obsessed a little bit too.
I saw a post that you put on Facebook where it talks about there's not a lack of one or the other at home.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
You saw that?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm explaining it right, but it has something to do with like your stay at home.
I will never know what it's like. No, he will never know what it's like to be the default parent, and I will never know what it's like to be the provider. But that's what makes us a team. Some shit like that.
Yeah.
That's what makes us a team, and that's why we need each other to balance each other out, because he needs me here as much as I need him out there providing for us.
So the way I took it is basically neither one of you are picking up nobody's slack because you guys are working with each other.
Together.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought. Why
My
are you
turn?
looking at me like? Why is she?
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like,
Are you
what?
trying to understand? Or are you trying
Yeah.
to look?
Yeah, I was trying to understand because I was like, not that you're wrong. I just didn't take it as not picking each other's slack. I understood it as like each person has their own part to put in.
That's what I said. Nobody has to pick up nobody's slack.
Right.
And you're still not understanding.
Yeah, I understand it,
you
but that's
guys
not the
are-
point.
No, you guys are saying the same thing. You're just saying the opposite of it.
Yeah.
I mean, how do I explain
The point
it?
is that they're
You
a
guys are
team.
just saying it differently.
Right.
So he's never gonna know what it's like to have to
be at the default
be
parent.
at the, like.
Yeah.
And I'll
That's what I'm
never
saying.
know what it's like to be the... Yeah,
Right.
you guys
So
are saying the same
neither
thing.
Yes.
one of them is
Yeah.
gonna have to pick up the slack of the other.
Yeah.
Because they're a team.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to say. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Except I'm just saying it like she doesn't understand.
No, I do understand. It's fine. It's your
It's your turn.
I get it.
Okay,
Oh, it's my
your
turn.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah. What are we talking about? I'm just kidding.
Avoid.
Oh yes, my husband. I met him. I don't remember when I met him. We knew each other our whole lives too, though. So I don't remember.
But you
the
were
first time.
aware of him.
I know what
Yeah, I
mean.
was aware of him. I don't remember ever like meeting him for the
You were a
first time.
baby.
Yeah. But we used to live in Ruskin. Obviously, we grew up in Ruskin, and he's always lived out where we live now. And whenever I used to live in Ruskin, he would always like text me. Like always, like he made back then. We used to use Kick. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Oh, yeah.
And he made like I'm calling. How do you say it? I'm exposing him right now. But he made like 5 different accounts because I kept blocking him because I was like, ew, I don't want to talk to you. But then
I'm a city girl.
Yeah.
Is it ew because like you weren't into boys or just went into that boy at that moment?
Him. I wasn't into him.
At that moment. Yeah. No. I was the same way. Like.
Yeah, I never liked girls.
No.
Happy Pride Month, y'all.
No, but anyways, then we moved to Duet, and it was, we talked about that last episode, worst moment in my life, I felt like, but it was all for the best. We moved out there, then I started going to school with him, and he just
persistent paid off.
Well, he wasn't like obsessed with me anymore. We were friends, but he says like he got over it. But then he would still talk to me.
He wasn't that over it.
He would still talk to me.
Clearly
And
not.
it was more of like how funny he was and his little jokes, which if you know him, he's a jokester. But I would see him on the bus every day and then at school. And I ended up falling for him, I guess you could say. Anyways, we got together, and I was 13, so I don't know what grade. I had my first love. I don't know what grade I was in. 7th grade? Yeah, I was in 7th grade. He was in 8th grade. And then we went on to to high school. And that was hard. When he went to 9th grade and I was still in middle school, it was horrible because we couldn't see each other out of, like, you, right? But it was just, if it was a whole year, a whole school year. Yeah. But anyways, then we graduated, and then I was able to date him when I turned 17. And then we were able to see each other more often. And then we got married when I was 20. He was 21. And I'm 22 now, so we've just been married. Oh, we had a kid, as y'all know. And I think that's it.
Wowzers.
Yeah. If I'm missing anything, I probably am, but if I think about it, I'll say it.
So, how serious did you guys feel in that relationship? I mean, you about moved in, so
it was alright. Serious. I think it was. I can't really recall how serious I thought it was at the moment, but kind of like the guy, so just moved in with him. Yeah. I guess from that moment on, I guess I thought I was always going to be with him. So it was something that never, well, not being with him never crossed my mind. So, like, from that moment on, it was just like, that's where I am and that's where I'm going to be. I think that has a lot to do with why I fought so hard to stay in that marriage, because I wanted that to be my one and only, coming from parents that have been together for so long, and
despite so much
certain things,
you're not supposed to give up that easily,
right?
And I think that's a quality that that's a quality that we all have. Like, we just especially when it comes to that, because we know, I think Mom's been real with us, for a lot of things, so we know that relationships are hard and marriage is not.
Well, you know what, it used to always cross my mind too, like in the not bad moments, but just like in the hard moments, was it'll be over and then it'll make our relationship stronger, our marriage stronger, and so that's the way I always looked at it. And there was something that I always did was outweigh the good with the bad. So, like, what the pros and cons, what were the cons of the marriage and what were the pros? So, like, I always saw more pros and cons, and that always made me stick with it. But yeah, it was, like I said, pretty serious. We I ended up graduating, and then we got married. I skipped all that. You said snippet. It's because it was like 13 million years. I couldn't go through all that. But we got married when I was 21, and he was 21 too. It was just like we talked last week, from one day to the other. Just said, hey, let's get married. All right, let's do it next week. So yeah, we had already been together 7 years.
Wow.
So it wasn't like right after we moved in, it was good 7 years. So we decided to do it, and then another 6.5 years went by, and things just went downhill and out. Down and out. But yeah. How about you? Oh, well, she already told us.
Yeah.
She didn't think they were going to make it a month.
That's crazy.
We did it, and then we did.
And now you're here.
I mean, I think that's what. No, well, we made it more than a month, and then we made it more than a year.
Yeah.
But I think that's why I always celebrated every month. Like, on Facebook, we're like, 7 months. I mean, a year, 7 months, or some stupid shit like that.
I used to do that. We used to do that. Or mostly, and like every month, like every 21st, I send them a long ass paragraph. Yeah, but not anymore. Not in a bad way, but
Yeah.
No,
I
it's
did that
just-
for the first month of like my I guess boyfriend that I've had after my marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just the first month. Because I'm like, oh, I made it a month. This is going somewhere good. And then after that, I was just like, oh, fuck
I'm
this.
trying to think.
Because
too.
within the month, like,
who?
I know. Oh, who? It was. I've only had like. Yeah.
It's a letter. Anyways, so I can't tell you exactly when I guess like loved him. I don't remember, but I knew like very early on, like in high school, I was like, I want to get married with him. I'm gonna have kids with him. Like I took it very seriously from like then. And I mean, we started dating when we were in middle school. We moved on to high school. It was like I already knew it.
Yeah.
Like it was serious since then. But I couldn't tell you exactly when. I don't know.
um, let's talk about how it was when dating with our strict parents.
It was tough. I think maybe y'all had it a little bit more tough. Like as the years went by,
Yeah.
they became less strict
Mm-hmm.
in a way.
There was no dating for me.
Well, I think that was for all of us. We weren't supposed to have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to. I know I would constantly forget to log out of my Facebook and social medias. And like Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings, it would be mom and dad drinking the coffee on the computer, going through my Facebook, going through my MySpace, looking through all my pictures and everything. So I know one time they called me out. This was the guy that I dated before Alonso. They're like, "You're gonna break up with him," and I was like, "No, I'm not,"
Why?
because they didn't want me to have a
Date?
boyfriend. Yeah.
How
Like,
old were
no,
you
I'm
at the
not.
time?
I was in middle school, so
Mm.
anywhere between 12 and 15, I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm not. I don't want to, so no.
What'd they say? They just left it at that?
Well, yeah, I mean, they started having a whole, why we shouldn't, and we're too young, and this and that. But
I just feel like at that age, like it's bound to happen. And like for example, when my son gets older and if I have more kids, I would want him or her to like be able to come to me and talk to me about this person because I know it's gonna happen.
right,
You know? Then to
But
like
at what age?
like middle school. Or even in elementary, if you have a crush, you can tell me.
yeah,
You know, it's not like you're gonna be doing stuff
that you're not
that
supposed
yeah,
to. I mean, you're a
you're a
child.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, that's what they say. Like, strict parents make sneaky kids.
Yeah. For sure. Like you said, logging out, making sure you erase everything, like
Yeah.
that's
Being sneaky.
exactly.
Yeah.
I remember one time I tried. I was already. It was for my birthday. When I turned 15. He invited me to go to breakfast. His mom was gonna take us,
Mm-hmm.
and I tried to voice that to mom, and
No.
like there was gonna be an adult there. It's not like we,
Right.
So
Granted, it's tough with that too because if I'm not the adult present, I don't trust another adult. Like I wouldn't especially with us being the girls, and like it's known, and I know we're not implementing that with our boys, but it's known that boy moms are more lenient when it comes to the boys and their dating and stuff like that. Like they'll probably be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna take them," and then just drop them off, and then But
right.
that's
But I feel like that's why you gotta take the time, like, or like if say Ariel gets a girlfriend. I want to take the time to meet these parents, to like know them.
Yeah.
And if for some reason I don't trust them, then I'll take you. You know, I'll take you guys to breakfast.
Yeah. Try to be on the same page with them,
Right?
Because it's for the well-being of the kids, and so they don't go out doing dumb
Bad
shit.
stuff.
Yeah, run away from home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Case in point.
No,
Yeah.
but I think it's a balance, like we said last time too. You know, like between being a friend and being a parent. Like it's a big balance, and I do feel the same way. And I mean, the truth of right now is just girls are nasty. Like
That's so cute.
no, he doesn't like girls. He likes boys because those are his friends, and he can play with them. So
I think it's a matter of knowing when to step in as a friend and when to step in as a parent. You know, so it's like you said, a balance.
Yeah, whenever he does come up with, or I pick him up from school and I see him, I have seen him hugging kids, like hugging little girls, saying bye. But he turns around, he hugs the other little boy too. So it's not like
it's like the same. They're just friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true. Do you guys remember your first kiss with this person? Not in general.
Yeah.
That was my first kiss.
In general.
Both.
Yeah, because I didn't really date nobody. Oh. Yeah, I didn't really date nobody. Yeah, with him, it wasn't even a first kiss. I don't remember the first kiss, but his first kiss to me was on the cheek when he dropped me off at the bus. I know, gay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I thought it was like sweet, cause
different.
Yeah,
that's not what you were expecting.
No, I was like
seeing
getting ready, like prepping the lips and stuff, and then he goes and kisses me on the cheek, and I was like, I wasn't ready for that.
I got lost.
I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah,
but it was sweet, and I remember you used to always talk about that. But yeah, that was my first kiss from my.
Where was yours at? Daisy's, because I didn't go to school. Like, where did you even see this guy?
Family events, maybe.
Yeah, but like, oh, I know. It was probably at a quince. No.
So our first kiss, we started dating December 2012.
At 3 a.m.
At 3 a.m.
Is that after the quince?
Yeah, that's after the quinces. We were done with quinces already.
Yeah.
And then in February, Jenny had a party at her house there in Ruskin. And we went. We both went, and that's where we had our first kiss, at Jenny's house.
Aww.
Alcahueta, la Jenny. She planned that one.
No, she did not. Jenny, well,
okay, then
maybe.
I was gonna say
she didn't really have much parties.
Maybe Jennifer didn't, but maybe that guy did.
It's funny.
I don't know. Yeah, but
Just
we
kidding.
did. That's where we had our first kiss, at Jenny's house, and it was different. I don't know. I like Sam into older men because he's 2 years older than me.
That's not even a lot.
But in hindsight, and anybody who is in law enforcement right now, close your ears, because he was technically 18 and I was 16. Sir.
When you say law enforcement,
I have no idea.
Off duty.
She's not here today.
No, yeah. So technically he was older.
He?
Yeah.
But that was after y'all started dating, right? He turned 18.
I don't know. I feel
he
like
was
that'd
already
be
18, and I had just turned 16. I was 15, and I just turned 16 in December, and then we started dating that month. So yeah.
Está bueno el café.
This guy. So Burley, you.
Mine was on the bus. We were sitting in the same seat, and I think he might have had like his arm around me like this, and I was like leaning on him like that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it was, I don't know. I was looking up at him somehow. I was looking up at him. Oh yeah, I was like this, and then I went like that.
Don't do it.
And then
No, no. And then he was
You
just
did?
staring at me, and I'm like,
Was that awkward?
no. Well, a little bit. I was like, oh my gosh. I was nervous, and
So you
then
knew
I
it was
was like,
coming?
yeah, but it wasn't happening. He was just like nervous or
you
something.
wanted him to like move faster.
Cause I was like getting impatient, and then like he didn't do it, and I just kissed him.
Oh, you went for it?
Yeah, yeah. I kissed him first, but y'all didn't see that coming.
No, we did not.
No.
What did he say about that? Have you guys ever talked about that?
Yeah, he thinks it's funny. Like it's a cute memory we have, like because people wouldn't expect that.
No,
Yeah,
definitely.
so
not.
I think
I
it's
would
funny.
have expected him to make the first move.
Yeah. How was it like? I know that you weren't really able to go out with him at any point because you weren't allowed to date him at all, right? What about you, Daisy? Because I know at one point mom and dad knew and you weren't married yet. So how was that?
So I didn't like it when they first found out that we were dating.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't understand that part because leading up to our dating, mom and dad baptized Giselle, his younger sister.
Mm-hmm.
And we were always over because like going to church and all that stuff. Like,
They're friends.
Yeah, and so they messed around with us saying that. Like they would say, el yerno. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mi yerno.
Or la nuera, or la suegra, or el suegro. Like they would mess around saying those things, and I was like, okay. And then because that was in October.
And you guys were already dating?
No, we were not dating yet.
Oh, okay.
That was in October when she finally got baptized. And then in December is when we started dating. So on Christmas Day, we went over to their house because mom and dad went to go drop off their gift. And I remember that day because we were all the way inside already, and he was still in his room. And then he came out and like he was saying hi to us, and like he went and he like gave his hand to me, and I was just like, dude, we're jits. We don't do that stuff. Like. So I just
see her looking at him like,
I was just like, what the heck? So I went in and I hugged him and I was just like, Merry Christmas. Like we had been hanging out a lot already. We did the quinces together. We, we were like, for Giselle's baptism, he got us a nice drink of pineapple juice, like so. We would hang out, like all of us would hang out. So I was just like, that's weird. Don't do that. Like, hug it is. And so from there, they, the parents ran with that even more. They were kind of like, and then they didn't know 3 days later. No, not 3 days later.
A month
later.
later.
Like a week.
A week later, we, started dating. So I didn't understand why they didn't.
So after when they found out, they didn't want to hang out?
No.
Well, it was
they
like,
didn't want and I don't understand because I would hear, and this is another influence that I had, not only because of that, but I would hear mom and dad talk about him, like he's so good, he helps his parents, he's always doing this and that. Like they would talk so highly about, they'd talk about him like they do now, like like Alonso this, Alonso that, and so I was just like, I seen that. I was like, okay, and are you listening? I like that they basically liked him. Like I seen that, and I liked him. So I was just like, okay, so this kind of looks like it's all falling into place. And then they're like, no, they don't like it. And he told me, like when he told his dad, he was like, you better not fuck it up. Like I don't want you to hurt her because, I don't want you to mess up my relationship with el compadre. So like, they didn't want,
because they were friends.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, that's sweet. But he was really worried about him and dad's relationship, not about my feelings.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then 3 months in, something happened, and the tables kind of like flip flop, like everything, like the whole world kind of went upside down. And so I went to tell mom, and I was just like, I don't know what I should, like, I don't know, like, is this gonna affect our relationship? Like, it was just his personal things that were happening, and I was just like, and then mom's like, no, you should leave him, and this and that, and that, and I was just like, I don't know. And then I went to dad. I actually did go to dad, and I told him, this and this happened with him, and he's just like, well, people change. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen. Like, you don't know what kind of mindset he's gonna have after, and you don't. He's like, so I wouldn't just dismiss him. Like, there's second chances to be had. And I was just like, I don't know if
It's a guy thing, I think.
maybe, yeah, I don't know, but I mean,
That sounds like that.
I'm thankful for me having gone to him and for the words that he gave me, because we are where we are now. I mean, I don't think I was gonna break up. I don't think we were gonna separate either. But those words are still in my head. Like, people change. Like, I've always remembered that. That said, people change and things change and circumstances shape a person. So yeah. But what was the question?
What was it like dating him after mom and dad found out?
Oh,
like
yeah.
seeing him and stuff.
So then mom was always like, no, you can't go out, and if you want to go out, tell him to come here, or we're gonna go here, and then he has to come with us and stuff like that. And I'm just like, well, this guy doesn't have a vehicle, this guy doesn't have a license, how's he supposed to even get here? Like,
Yeah.
So it was a difficult situation. Or if we wanted to go somewhere, I was kind of like, like, he was a little. So
You think because him and your husband were like part of the family, that was a lot
think so.
easier than.
But I feel
'cause we
like that would
tried.
have been better. What do we want me to do? Like, was it better to bring a stranger?
Well, no, that's what I'm
You
trying
know?
to say. Like,
no, she's saying that it was easier for us to see
to
them.
be able to like,
Oh,
because we tried. I mean, he tried. He came over and talked to dad, basically.
I don't think so, Diana.
I think
I
it's the
think-
same.
No, I think mom and dad didn't want us to leave too.
But they're just
I
protective over us.
I think they wanted. I think from what happened with Diana,
They learned.
and they realized we were too strict. We went things about wrongly, and
They're just trying to be better
they were trying
parents.
to be better, yeah. And
So it wouldn't have mattered.
I don't think so, but who's to say? I mean, I'm not to say. But I think they were gonna be the way they were gonna be regardless.
If it would have been a stranger, somebody that you met at school.
I think so.
I think they just evolve as parents and learning from their mistakes.
Which, I mean, we do. I know I have with the boys, and you guys will too once you have. I mean, I don't know if you're planning on another one, but you will still evolve either way with McBill. Like, things that you used to let slide or things that you didn't, you will, and vice versa. So
yeah.
We do change as parents, and that's we always say this, but that's another episode. But because we wouldn't hold that. I mean, I hope you don't hold that against them, and I think there's no reason for us to hold things against them.
Yeah.
Because they were learning. Like you said the other day, what you used to tell our brother all the time. Like, there's no manual.
Yeah.
And Isaac just reminded me the other day. He's like, I read it somewhere where, yeah, you're a kid for the first time, but we're also parents for the first time. Like, this is our first time living too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I forgot why we were talking about that, but he did say that. He's like, yeah, you forget, like, yeah, this is your first time living too. Like, you haven't lived before as a parent even. So
right,
it's
you're learning as you go by.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
What was the question?
The question was, what was it like dating?
Oh, before and after?
Yeah.
I think our stories are kind of similar about, like, our husbands being kids of friends of our parents.
Mm-hmm.
Because Hazel's parents were always coming over especially when we moved over to DeWitt. I don't know if they went over in Ruskin. I think they did, but I don't remember.
They used to go over, yeah.
Yeah, we used to go over there or what? To Hazel's house.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember a little bit of that, but I remember mostly when we moved to DeWitt, they would come over all the time, and they would do the same thing. They would call him Guillermo or whatever, and tell him to call him Sorga or call him Sorga, and I don't know why. And then when it happens, they get mad. I don't understand. And it's funny because I would be like, ew, I don't want that,
Right.
or whatever. But then, you know, as I said, it just happened, and they weren't happy with it. They didn't want it, and I think it was the same thing too. Like they would always come over, and then after that, it was like nothing. No, at all. They didn't speak to them at all. But it was also because, you know, other factors in it, like they knew and they didn't when they found out, and all that. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, because his parents knew about it, but they didn't, and I guess they saw it like as betraying them because they were friends.
I mean, in hindsight, that's understandable.
And they're
Yeah.
the adults.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it happened for a reason because either way, we are
That's how
here
things
now.
were supposed to happen.
Yeah. But afterwards, as we got older and, you know, we talked to them, Hazel came over and talked to mom and dad, and we were all outside, and like he said sorry for everything before, and then slowly his parents started coming around more, and now they're friends again. So
Whose idea was it to go talk to them? Was it his?
I think
Or
no, I
Jay's
think
parents?
Dad said tell him to come to the house and talk.
Oh, that's
And
good.
so then he went, and then we talked about it. And then that's when they said, okay, because it was like during COVID and all that stuff, and they're like, okay, if you're gonna come over, you're gonna be here at the house, and only on Sundays when we're home, you're gonna be able to see her, and that's pretty much it. But as the months, years went by, we would be like, oh, can I go out? Can I go do this? Can I do that? And in the beginning, it was like when our niece and nephew were there, and I would take them everywhere. Because they'd be like, you're going out, you have to take them. And so they would tag along.
You were stuck with me.
Yeah.
Too, so.
No, you were stuck with me.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's true.
And so, but afterwards, when, you know, all that happened, and sadly they moved away and they weren't there anymore, I went by myself. And so I think that was very different from, well, both of you guys.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. It, as like we got older, closer to where we got engaged and married, it was bad. I wasn't listening, and not that I was a bad kid, because I don't think I was. I don't think I was a bad kid. It's not like I was out there drinking or smoking or doing these bad things. I was just hanging out with them. That was it. But I would come home pretty late. Yeah.
That was your rebel stage.
Yeah. Which I don't think it was bad.
No.
So
I think we all have one though.
Yeah.
As good as you were, that was your little stage where,
yeah.
you know, you veered out the line.
Yeah. We went hunting one day, and that's all we did. Like literally, if we were out late, because we were out hunting, and so we went, and we didn't come back till like 4 a.m. And that's crazy because our bedtime is 9 o'clock, and I had to be there at 9. But this was like, Dad knew that I was going hunting, so he expected me to come home late. So it wasn't 9 o'clock. It was just no llegué tarde, and I was like, I come early. No, I'm just kidding.
Before the sun.
No, but I was so scared because, you know, Dad wakes up early as fuck, and he was up on the computer. And I was like unlocking the door, and he was there. He saw me, and I was like, I'm sorry. And then he just shook his head at me, and I went to the room. And it was like 4, right? And so
Did he say nothing to you?
No, he just went like this. and then I set my alarm for like 7 a.m. because I was like, all right, I'm gonna make up for it. I'm gonna wake up early. I'm gonna make him breakfast. And I think Hazel was supposed to come that day too. But he didn't show up because he was scared because I came home late. And so I woke up early. I woke up at 7. I had like 3 hours of sleep, and they got me in trouble. They said, you came here late. You didn't sleep nothing. Like, what are you doing? You should be sleeping. And they didn't eat breakfast. I made them pancakes. Hazel didn't show up. Like, literally, no one ate. No one ate the food that I made. I was so upset because If I would have fucking stayed sleeping, they would have told me. You see what happens when you stay up late. Like there was no winning.
No, you weren't gonna.
But yeah, that was my raffle stage.
Did that ever happen to you?
What?
Like, ever walked in the house when Dad was walking out?
No.
You never came home that late?
She wasn't allowed to.
I was never out. Like,
Not even towards the end, like when you were gonna get married?
There was only one time that I was allowed to, but that was the day that Lonson went to talk to Dad on Thanksgiving that we're gonna move out because we bought our house already. And when he decided we're gonna get married, and I was actually on my way out that day because we're gonna go Black Friday shopping so we can get stuff for the house. And we did. I think we bought a TV and we bought comforters for our bed because we had already put our bed in and everything. We had already bought something.
It was ready to move in.
Yeah. Well, not completely, but yeah,
right,
we were furnishing it. Yeah,
that's how you start.
Little. And so we did sleep over that night. We slept over at our house that night.
Oh, but you were already adults. I mean,
you didn't come home.
No, we didn't come home.
But you were allowed to.
But that was. I mean, yeah, we told them we're gonna go Black Friday shopping, and we left at 10:00 at night, 9:00.
So as far as they knew, y'all were shopping.
Yeah. But,
yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, but no, I was never. The only times I would sleep over at anybody's house or go late is because I was with you, and that's who I was with. With you,
sleeping over.
Yes.
Right.
Me
too. Yeah. I never slept anywhere but Daisy's house. Literally, that's.
Yeah.
That was it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
A mí me tocó también una vez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was after. Oh shit! That was after my ex-husband.
Mm-hmm.
I moved in with them for a little bit, and I remember I was working, but then after work I would go off and do my thing, and either a bar or a club. But I think that day it was a bar, and I came home and it was like.
I remember those days. She would call me, and I was asleep, and she would call me to open the door, and I'd be like, "What?"
So, but at that time I had a key. They had given me the key.
Mm.
So I was coming to the back door, and I was barely gonna put the key into the door when I hear Dad go. He opened it, and then he looked at me. I was smashed. I just smiled at him, and he's like, "Estas son las horas de llegar," and I was like, "Buenos días." And then I just went and I laid on the couch. I couldn't go farther. And I started doing that because Mom would get upset if I would go lay with her in the bed, because something about when you're drunk le pasas la cruda a la otra persona. So she would say that Melly wakes up with the cruda, and I'm like, what? So then I just started laying on the couch. I wouldn't even go to the bed. I was just by myself.
Your father.
No, I mean, I didn't mind. I just didn't want her to tell me anything just because, I was getting my little sister drunk. Oh, good days. But yeah, I was like, oh, fuck. And I was like dreading going to the house because I already knew it was 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. They're already up. And I saw the lights on. I'm like, fuck. So I was hoping that they weren't going to be in the kitchen, just still in their room. And I could sneak either to the couch or into Millie's room.
I would sneak in though. Not sneak out because they would know I was out. But if I made it past 9, maybe 10, 10:30 the latest, I would quietly make it in, and then they would ask me, "What time did you get home?" And I would be like, 9:30, and they wouldn't know. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say that. But
Mom, if you're watching this,
yeah, well,
part.
Yeah, please don't get upset. I'm sorry.
That's crazy.
But yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's time for our 1 sip, 3 spills.
Yes. Okay. So today's question is, my friend vents me 24/7, but the second I open up, she disappears. The backstory is, I've always tried to be a good friend, the kind of person that listens without judgment and shows up when someone needs to talk. and I don't mind being her person. Really, I care for her and I want to always be there for her. However, when I need a friend to listen and be there for me, she ghosts me or just changes the conversation. It makes me feel like my feelings don't matter. Is it selfish to finally set a boundary? Should I still be there for her and find another person to share my troubles with, or should I stop being her friend in general? Keep in mind, we are in our late 20s. It's not like we're just teenage friends.
Basura.
Trash.
Wait, what'd she say?
Basura.
Oh, basura. I was like, what?
I don't know. That's difficult, but if it's a constant thing where it's like every time I'm trying to talk to you and you're not available, but whenever you need somebody to talk to, I always make time.
Right.
Like, no, we're done. Like,
Yeah, that's not right. I don't think it's right.
no. I mean, if it was like every once in a while, like I get it. You know, we're adults and we have shit going on, but every single time,
Unacceptable,
No.
because just as much as you're there for that person, they should be there for you
Right.
to listen to you and, try to give you the best advice that they can. But if they're not doing that and they're only seeing or wanting that attention on them, I don't know if it's attention or just that
shoulder.
right. Like they only want you to be there for them
Mm.
and they are not trying to be there for you, then that's not a real friendship. That's
No.
a one-sided, just like a relationship,
Yeah.
So I would.
So leave her.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
even
just-
think there's anything around that. Like,
No.
even to be a devil's advocate, I don't. How? How could you be so rude to a friend when they need you? But
Well, here's the thing, like maybe confront the person before you just leave them and see what comes of it. Like let them know,
Well, yeah.
okay,
hey, you haven't been listening to me. Like I feel like this is a one-sided friendship.
well, maybe what that person is always trying to vent about is this sleazy boyfriend that they won't leave, and that they've always been like, dude, leave him already, he's not for you. So every time she's coming back, like,
She's just
oh, we
not
broke
about
up
it.
again, this and that, yeah.
Oh,
she's
you're
just
talking about
over
the friend here.
Yeah.
That's
So maybe the friend's just over it, and she's already given so many
Okay.
advice, and she's not listening.
So that's something to consider. Maybe the other friend is just tired of that conversation.
Of giving the advice and her not taking it.
Yeah. Or
And she coming back with the same problem.
exactly. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
So I guess it could be a devil's advocate there.
So
Yeah.
what would you say to that?
So I would say
Get your shit
the
together.
other one is find a new friend.
Yeah, but it's this one that's asking, not the other one.
I know.
Maybe try to talk to her about something different.
I think you're right. You should try
Just
to
have a conversation.
Have a conversation like grown as adults that you are, and see what the issue is. And if that's the issue, look within yourself at that point, because what's
That's
going
true.
on? What's going on with you that nobody wants to listen to your shit no more?
That's true. Good point.
Yep.
All right, guys. So that sums up today's episode. But tune in next week.
We're going to be at my house and we're going to be talking about some deep and lighthearted questions.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.